Hey everybody, I'm David with Bolivar Live, and guess what? Today we're on the beachfront. Eric Graves is with us, and you know him from last year and the year before predicting hurricanes and their movements. Eric, thanks for joining us. Today we're going to talk about hurricane season 2022. You and I have been talking now for about a month, and seems like the GFS is getting a little antsy.
Yeah, and it tends to do that a lot. Well, and this year we have a couple different things from last year. We had an active season last year. Really we've been in an active cycle for about 15 to 20 years, but this year resembles the unprecedented season of 2020, which we have anomalously warm temperatures in the Gulf of Mexico, even in the Caribbean, the main development region also several degrees above average.
I was going to say, you and I were talking about the Gulf. It's like 4 or 5 degrees, isn't it, above?
Yeah, so it's been anomalously warm the past several years, but this year more so, even more pronounced than last year. Kind of reminiscent of the 2020 season where we exhausted all the hurricane names, had to go into the Greek alphabet. So I think this will be a really, really active hurricane season. I think over 20 named storms easy, and a lot of that will be kind of compressed into the months of August and September. But we still have the chance of a renegade hurricane or two before August, and that's where the GFS kind of starts to sniff that out past 2 weeks often. But like I said, you can take that with a grain of salt until you see it get inside of the 9 to 10 day window when resolution gets a little bit better.
Well, and we start, the GFS comes out, and then it seems like the European models after that, and then maybe the Canadian model. And, that's one thing, I talk about them some. Eric talks about hurricanes, but then there's some people out there that as soon as that model comes out, oh, it's going to be here, boy, they blurt it out and hey, we're here. And someone made a comment, and I can't remember who it was, well, it's good for numbers.
Yeah.
Man, numbers aren't what it's all about. It's giving people rest assured and peace of mind.
Yeah.
You and I talked a lot last year, and when Laura was going in, we talked about that. And then last year we had the one that no one knew what the heck was going to do that went in.
Nicholas,
that it was like, I was talking to you, I was talking to Keith, and I said, hey, if this thing don't move, make a turn in the next 20 miles, 15 miles,
Tricky.
We're in trouble. Well, about that time, by the time I was sitting at this road here and was watching the water starting to come up and called you and I called Keith. By the time I got home, what I thought was a wobble was actually the turning. It went in down south.
Yeah.
And even you said, man, I didn't see none of this coming.
Yeah,
because it was crazy.
It was a special storm.
But, that's the good part. And Eric's, you graduated last year. He tells you the truth and he explains it. And so if you haven't found his page yet, make sure you go to Eric Graves.
So it's meteorologist Eric Graves, WX.
Okay.
And yeah, so there's a fine line between, calling something early and calling something when there's accurate. A very, very low chance of that ever coming to fruition, like with that page that we're not even going to say the name about, but when you see something 15 days out, you take that with a grain of salt.
And I may mention it, especially when we get into August and September, and usually by then you've said something or we've already been talking about something. But that's, like I said, if I mention it 15 days out or you do, it's just to let people know, hey, this is, and you said it a week ago, David, this thing's not gonna do anything.
Yeah, ghost storm.
Yeah, it's a ghost storm. It'll come and go, and that's what it's done. I think the GFS went out and then it came back, and now you and I looked at the office. Now it shows it going up across Cuba.
Yeah.
And at one point it was going into Mexico, and another point it was going into New Orleans, and then it disappeared for a day, and then it was going into Florida. And so, when you're that far out, and especially this early in the season, there's not a lot you can do. But listen to the National Hurricane Center, listen to Eric, the guys that are trained and pay attention to this, and they don't blow it out 15, 20 days out. Now, if we've got a storm coming across like Ike, I can remember when it came off Africa, I think, and started across, we knew it was coming in the Gulf. We just didn't know where. And man, I can remember watching that thing all the way across.
That was a steady trend west.
And I can remember, you know, a kid that was at the weather service at the time said, David, you need to have, at the time I was guiding, you need to have your boats out by this day. And so we had them out, but it was still showing down in Corpus. But he said, man, that thing's coming in between Surfside and Galveston. And sure enough, it hit, you know, right up the Houston Ship Channel. And, you know, you and I were just talking about the houses that are here. And I said, none of these houses were here after Ike, and the water was about 14 foot here.
5 feet over our heads.
Yeah, so anyway, watch us this year. If you haven't found his page, watch it. Everyone's predicting an active year, but we don't want to make it a worrisome year. And so Eric keeps people posted, and always watch your local news authority, the weather service, and everyone, and then make your best decision. And I always say down here, when they call for a voluntary evacuation, my wife's on the road, she's gone, and I'm heading to High Island. And so I want to thank the High Island RV Park, because I've already homesteaded a place up there for this year if we need it. So anyway, Eric, thanks for coming down. We're going to be back probably June 1st on the beach talking about hurricane season and other things that are coming up. In fact, we're going to try and get some other people involved with that. Hopefully we can put it together, because that's the kickoff. Remember, the second Tuesday of June is our Good Morning Bolivar. At Stingery Restaurant, we have Galveston County Office of Emergency Management, Laura Norman, coming in to talk to us about some new things they're doing for hurricane season. And I'm going to try and get Eric in here too. So anyway, Eric, thanks for joining us. We'll see you, and we're going to keep you posted on all weather, all things fun and weather here on the Bolivar Peninsula. Until next time, I'm David with Bolivar Live. Y'all have a great day, great week. Come see us. God bless, and bye-bye.